Okay, so this is the first in the series of GMBN Meet the Presenters. And let's start at the start. We're in my hometown of Shrewsbury, and this is my parents' house. They've got some posts. So this is my old bedroom, all my old stuff's in here. You might have seen my garage tour recently and you thought I was a hoarder. Well, this takes it to the next level. There's all my old magazines, mountain bike magazines. I started riding in 1995, so my mates at school sort of convinced me to buy a mountain bike, and there it is, my very first Kona that you saw in my garage tour. There I am, must have been 14 years old. Really bad picture, but absolutely loved that bike. It lived in my bedroom at the time. So I had that bike about 2 weeks and I started racing. There was a local race, the National Champs at Eastridge, where I still ride. And these are the pictures from my very first race. I was a youth and I think I came sort of 28th out of 32 people, but loved it and completely got hooked on downhill racing. I did my race, went home to do my paper round, came back to watch the pros race. This is actually quite an important picture for me. This marks a transition. So you see me wearing a Man United top. I used to love football until I got a bike, and then I gave up football basically. I used to play for like 3 teams, stopped doing that, decided bikes were more fun, get rid of the Man United jersey, and it's all about bikes from now on. I've still got loads of pictures from my old days. That's the first bike I ever got given as part of a sponsorship deal, a Kona Mano Mano. I don't know what year that was, to be honest, I can't remember. A Bomber Z1's on the front, check that out. I absolutely loved that bike until I snapped it. Some really early pictures actually going back a step or two. That's at Hawkston Motocross, used to go and race there, see my heroes of the day, like I remember Will Longdon racing there. Will Longdon then became my team manager a few years later. There's all my mates from school. Things started off pretty steady for me, to be honest. Pretty average until I moved up to junior. This is getting more towards the junior days. So over here, I've kept some things actually from racing. And that's my National Champs jersey. Super proud to wear that. I remember the last race of the year when you could show off that jersey, I wore full white kit. So I had white trainers, white gloves, white shorts. Looked pretty cool. Went and crashed in that race. I covered it all in dirt. So a gold medal, that's a bronze, I think that's from senior national champs. I always used to really love national champs. It was the one race of the year I could really get fired up. I really wanted to win it. I got a few silvers, but I never won it as a senior. Mark Beaumont pipped me the one year by about a tenth of a second after I'd qualified fastest. That is as close as I ever got to winning national champs properly. So my racing progressed normally really. I sort of, pretty fast junior, went up to elite and then started racing World Cup straight away. So I've got a few pictures from those racing days, travelling abroad. There's me and Mark Beaumont. I'm wearing Royal kit because Steve Peat sponsored me in 2000 when he started Royal Racing. Started racing around the world. These really early days. Japan, went there in 2001. 2001 was actually the first year I raced the full World Cup series on the Halfords team. Don't know where that is, somewhere in France probably. That's my Schwinn Straight 8. That was a great bike. It was just super heavy and I was quite small at the time, so it's a bit hard work. My first motocross bike, I reckon I was about 19 when I could actually afford to ride one. So I think I first started to feel like a pro is when I actually started flying to the races, and this was the first year on Halfords, started to get paid to ride my bike. And Mondays were all about sort of recovering, fixing your bike and not going to lectures, because I went to uni, very briefly I should say, for about 2 months studying mechanical engineering. Found it really hard, I dropped out. So fortunately I had mountain biking to sort of do something with my life, and I've never really had a plan, but I'm doing what I'm doing now, which is the GMBN Centre. There's some other pictures. There's Steve Peat. He was really important to my career. He helped me out when I was really young, hooked me up with Royal, sort of showed me how to race. A couple of pictures from those days as well. That was a Troy D2 that I went and got. I went and stayed with Steve Peat in California for a couple of weeks and went to Troy Lee. Steve hooked me up with all his sponsors. Really good days. So I don't try and keep too much stuff. However, I do try and keep one jersey from sort of every year I race. So that is the very early days. Still think that looks cool now. Motocross top for racing in, inspired by Sean Palmer when I was like 17, 18, I guess. Some early race team ones, there's Halfords. Yeah, it's all right, not my favourite kit. Lots of old ones, a few GB jerseys. So I managed to race and represent my nation a few times. That's a cool one. Got my name on the back of my GB jersey. Always felt super cool putting on one of these things, racing at World Champs. I think I raced 3 World Champs, 1 as a junior, 2 senior, crashed in every single one because you're only there to win it. Although I've never been there to win a World Champs. However, I think my best year was 2004. I think I qualified at the world 6th or something like that. It was really good at the time. Crashed, Fabian Burrell won, and I was 10 seconds off his winning time with the crash. So that was as near as I ever got to any glory at World Champs. That's one of Steve Peate's jerseys from the early GT days. He used to give me loads of riding kits. One of the original Royal race tops. Yeah, that's got to be from 2000, I would have thought. So back in the old days, I used to buy hundreds of magazines, spend all my pocket money on mountain biking, just nerding out on everything. And then it was really cool to start featuring in them. So some of the really old ones, that's 2000. Look, doing a tabletop. I can almost still do that now. What's really funny is this one, there's Martin Ashton on the front on his trials bike, and then there's me, Neil Donoghue. See why he's so stylish. And I found a picture of Doddy. So it's pretty much the whole crew in one magazine. Just need Blake. There's a cover, doing a wall ride. I used to absolutely love riding dirt jumps, so I pretty much just rode a hardtail or a BMX all week and then bring out the downhill bike at the weekends. And that's actually, I think, how I got my riding skills, just riding dirt jumps, pumping. It's from the Santa Cruz days, you used to do a lot of that sort of stuff, pre-season, or your pictures, send out sponsors. There's a big poster. So that's some of my old stuff, but let's go and talk to someone who really helped me out in the early days.
Mate, how's it going, dude? You good?
Yeah.
Hey, my name's Sandy. We're in the trailhead in Shrewsbury today. Neil Donoghue, he's been a buddy of mine now for over 20 years. Myself and my dad sponsored him back in '95. We gave him a bike to race on, hooked him up, looked after him. He was the fastest kid around by far then. And also the riding scene around here is just awesome, and I think that's played a big part in Neil's career.
So this is my local woods where it all started. This is where I did my very first race in '95, but it's also where I still ride a lot nowadays. It's typical of UK riding. It's not huge elevation, but it's muddy, it's technical. I think I learned almost everything here, as well as riding the local dirt jumps. This is my place really. So I raced World Cup downhill for 10 years in the end. My first year was 2000, and I actually snapped my chain out of the gate in qualifying at Leger, so DNQ'd that one. Went to second round and got 31st. And I got 28th and 18th. So the first year it went pretty well for me. I think my best year racing downhill was probably 2004. That's when I went to Les Deux Alpes, which was the second round, got a 9th place, went straight to Maribor the week after, got another 9th. I think I finished the year with a 12th. So I really felt then like I'd progressed, like I actually could hang with the fast boys. It was always a big one for me was sort of mental confidence. I was so inconsistent racing downhill. I felt like one day I could win it, other days I didn't deserve to be there. So I felt sometimes I had a point to prove. If I really felt like I wanted to show someone how good I was, like it was contract year or something like that, I felt like I really needed to beat someone to get paid well, then that's when I performed, but I was really inconsistent when I raced downhill. I managed to win 2 British downhill races in Elite, which is no mean feat trying to beat someone like Steve Peate, G Atherton, Dan Atherton, Mark Beaumont. Steve did break his ankle, G did crash, but hey, someone's got to win the race. I finished racing World Cup downhill in 2009 and knocked racing on the head completely for about a year. Still rode my bike. But then enduro started in the UK and then the EWS after that, and it really suited me. I really thought that I had some of the downhill skills still, and I really enjoyed training, so I did quite a lot of enduro racing. I managed to win 2 British Enduro Series, and then that leads me on to where I am now, working for GMBN. And then injuries, there's been quite a few of those. Racing downhill is brutal. You spend most of your year semi-injured, but I think I raced 2004. I came back just after a knee surgery, and then I had a torn ACL and raced that whole year with that, but I've had a big list of injuries. "36 years old, Shropshire in the UK. Been riding bikes for 23 years. Is that right? 23 years, long time. Best experience on 2 wheels, I would say my memory is terrible. So I've done lots of cool things. I've been fortunate to travel all around the world racing, Japan, Brazil, America, Canada, seen loads of Europe, but I can't remember those very well. So I'll have to go back just to last year when I raced in Chile, the Andes Pacifico. I don't take my racing quite as seriously now, so I get to enjoy it a little bit more, I'd say, and I love that experience. This could sound really cheesy, but actually I love riding in my local woods. I've been to Whistler, been to some amazing places that are great. There's something special about coming to where I love to ride in different conditions, riding in the middle of winter when it's horrible and really hard, coming back in summertime and it's rock hard and fast. I don't know, just love it. A bit of a cop-out, but I would say modern trail bikes, I love them. They're really easy to take for granted now, but the technology that goes into them, they can pedal up the hills, they can go downhill really fast, they're great. But if I had to pick one race bike, I would say actually my Azonic Recoil. It's probably not the most desirable, you know, I've ridden Santa Cruz's, V10s, but it just suited me really well, that bike, and I had my best results on it. It just really fitted like a glove, and I got on the bike and it just felt perfect every time. Still World Cup downhill. I still feel like I'm a downhill racer, even though it's been a long time, so I love watching that. Some of the kids I grew up with when I was racing, I was elite. There were people like Danny Hart, Josh Bryston. I know Josh isn't there anymore, but Danny's still racing. It's cool to see those guys and still cheer them on at weekend. I've got no idea. I started off doing engineering, so I'd like to think I'll be doing something like that, maybe designing bikes, but really my life and my work has been based on bikes for so long that I find it hard to think of anything else now. There's a bit of a one-upsmanship when it comes to mountain biking, like people feel like they've got to have the newest and the best bike. Of course, nice bikes are great, they are very nice to have, but you don't need it, just ride whatever you've got. You're still gonna have a great time. So that's a little bit about me, and actually I can't wait to see the rest of the guys' videos, the Meet the Presenters. Now I'm going to throw you to a couple of my favourite GMBN videos from all time. Top one there is our Fat Bikes Fast, of course. It was a lot of fun doing that one. And down there for Martin's Whistler trip, really enjoyed watching that, especially because I wasn't there myself. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video and hit the subscribe button.